Didn't want to be a researcher. This is an appropriate item. Next up is Janae. And, well, she has some slides and stuff that I haven't seen this presentation, but it should be pretty interesting.
Okay, so what I'm doing this semester is I've been researching theme parks because a couple years ago I discovered that I wanted to create experiences, and I found that in like my trip to Disney World, and I realized, wow, this is the best place on earth, in my opinion. And so I wanted to learn how to do that. But the first thing I learned was that there's very few ways to learn how to be a theme park designer. There's no tome of knowledge, there's no courses in it. And so what I had to do is I had to then do it all by myself. And so what I've been doing is I've been researching theme parks and companies that like do this. And basically trying to figure out my way to then continue learning how to design theme parks. And there's, like I said, there's not many ways to do that. I've been researching on the internet, I've been researching books, and it's all just kind of been compiling information from a ton of different sources and just trying to find a way to put it all together and make sense of it. And one day, hopefully, it'll all come together and I'll be able to do stuff like that.
And this is actually Janae's, what, 5th semester?
Yes, I'm a third year.
And she figures there are courses, but given next semester, that will help her with the actual design or architecture or whatever it is. What's the name of that course?
It's a theme park. It's
whatever.
Yeah, it's like a workshop, and it's basically telling you the process of design to that. It's about the process that they go through.
And where is that?
It's given online.
So in order to be able to do an online and probably instructional paradigm kind of thing, Janae took it on herself to get the background through her own means. And so you can see that some of the things that we talk about learning of purpose and then newness and information, she set it out all for herself. And are you planning to make it a learning activity, have someone evaluate what you learned?
If I can, yeah, that would be great.
The rules for learning activities, you should all know this, are you learn whatever you want, and if the person who evaluates it, it can be ex post facto. It can turn out you read a bunch of books and they hang together in some way. You describe it with a title, that's all you're required. We recommend that you do a self-evaluation anyway, so that you're evaluated. You identify someone who is not you who can evaluate it. It could be a student or a janitor or just, some weight person that you like very much, that you meet. It could be anyone in the world. Obviously, you will not get a good evaluation unless it's someone who knows the subject, and preferably someone who knows the subject and saw the process that you went through to learn what you learned. And they write an evaluation. And that evaluation is recorded as part of your transcript, and then is available for your divisional chairpersons to refer to or to quote or to highlight in some way. And the only rule is that if the person is not a Hampshire-related person, any kind of employee, professor, other student, staff, then it has to be on letterhead, which used to be a kind of barrier. But nowadays, anyone can take word processor and letterhead, so it's not very much better. So we're very proud of that. This might be a good time. No, we're still in the middle. So Andrew has some very wonderful things to show you as part of his thing.
Yeah, sure.
You want to be in the front?
I'll come up.
Okay.
So, I'm only a second year. I'm not that far from where you guys are right now. I haven't gotten a chance to really implement anything huge with Hampshire so far, but I think I can kind of demonstrate other ways of learning and outside the classroom. When I came in here today, my definition for learning was any sort of is to gain the ability and mindset and focus, or whatever it is that you need to lead a fulfilling life. Whether that means like you lead a happy life or a productive life, or you can like make change. It's kind of up to you and whatever it takes to get there. And I think a classroom is a great way to do that, but there's other routes that you can take. And this doesn't have to do so much with what I want to do at Hampshire, but this is something that I learned kind of entirely by myself. In high school, I started doing like leather work because for one reason or another, I wanted armor. And it's really expensive to get online, and I was looking at what people were making, and I realized that it's not that difficult. And so instead of paying for the pieces that I wanted, I bought the materials and the tools, and I started to do this. And I made some armor. I have this helmet. This is something I did at school. I started making like chainmail and stuff. I'll pass this around. This is a cool hat. But then I realized, and I was getting good at it, and I was having a lot of fun, but I realized that leather, or armor, isn't very practical. It's not something you need very often. So I started to make belts, because my pants were always falling down. And the belts, they came out pretty well. I made a lot of them. Like, I just have all these. Kind of cool. So I'm going to pass around this cheese belt that I made, and there's 2 bracelets attached to it.
And called cheese
because it looks like Swiss cheese to me when it goes around. But it's just an example of, this wasn't something I was taught in high school or here in Hampshire. I just sort of went with it. I looked at pictures online and I started to figure out their patterns. My dad was a builder, which sort of helped me conceptualize a lot of this. But for the most part, yeah.
Where do you work? Do you have a workshop at Bernstein?
I wish I did. Last semester I was in Dakin, and I sort of turned my bed upside down. I slept under it and made the top a work table, and I brought it in there. But for now I have my stuff still in Connecticut where I live. I didn't bring it back this semester because it's kind of a lot to bring it back and forth.
You want to put on the chainmail?
Sure, if you guys want to see it. Okay. So this is chainmail.
You made that.
I did make this.
Big.
Yeah. So, find the front. Just slip it on.
A lot.
Yeah.
You need a squire.
Yeah.
The nights where the male and the squire.
So this is fun. This is this is the typical way that people make chainmail. This is called 4-in-1. Like every one ring goes through 4 of the rings. And I made this, which was great. But then I started actually thinking about it and thinking of other things I could use. And I came up with this, which is like my own kind of chainmail. And you guys should see this too. This is, instead of using all rings, I use half rings and half of these like golden washers I found. And it looks really cool when it moves in the light. You can kind of see, it looks like scales. I don't know if you guys are getting that. But yeah, play with
You willing
this.
to pass that
please.
How long did that take you?
This took me all winter of sophomore year in high school. But it's great. It's like, have you guys ever done like a big jigsaw puzzle? It's just like really like nice. You just go home and you work on it. That's how I felt with this, except it was a puzzle where every single piece fit to every other piece. So it was really easy.
Easy puzzle, right?
Yeah. You don't have to
So how did you choose Hampshire?
I chose Hampshire. Well, this stuff, yeah, I'm really into art. And I was really, really close to going to an art school. I looked at a lot, but there's so many things that I really want to learn about. And I thought it would really be a shame to limit myself to just art. So I wanted to come here and learn about sort of ecology and anthropology and just lots of other great things in music and stuff.
The other factor was that there was no art school that taught the art of armor and leather. Maybe leather, but not armor.
But see, that'd be a great like independent study. Maybe I could go somewhere in Europe where people are still doing this and do that for a while.
Yeah,
We'll see.
technically a learning activity.
Technically.
Because independent study has to have somebody qualified to give you a course at Hampshire. Are there any questions about any of these presentations? Amazing.
Do you just want armor for fun?
Thanks.
Thanks, Andy.
Cool.
You're welcome.
So I just want to tell you that these aren't like I'm shilling for my students or anything like that. In fact, 2 out of the 3 were introduced to us by my excellent assistant, Kathy Pappas, whose other name is Wonder Woman, so this will need anything done.
Crazy.
Lynn would like to say something, I think. But first, do you have any questions about this stuff? Does any of it illustrate any of your own ideas about learning?
Well, so learning activities can, like, the sky is the limit?
That's right. The point is, even now at Hampshire,